Good morning, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? I am fine for Saturday. We've got the U.S. Open today and baseball, of course. Football, we're still a month away till we start getting the Hall of Fame game and things like that. All right, just a second. All right, I was watching Adam Smith, so we're going to discuss this today. This is a great video. This really explains everything. I've shown it to you before a couple years ago, and it's weird how it works. It just happened to pop up in my, in the YouTube, right in your little selection. So I watched it. It really explains everything. I mean, we'll get into that after we do our little golden baseball. So let's look at how we did in baseball yesterday. We go 1, 2, 3, 3-1 yesterday. Pitt under 7, Paul Skeens get the win, but they actually win 2-1 in 10 innings. Philly under 8.5, so winner. That was a 2-unit play. Miami over 9 wins. Baltimore over under 10.5. That was the game that I didn't understand the 10 run. Neither team can hit very well. And then you add onto that the bad pitchers, but I just said they're not going to hit. And it was 10.5. I think it was 2-0 or something. Had the Mets, which lose. Cincinnati over 8 or over 9. It wins. Detroit, I don't know, with their bullpen day or whatever. Boston wins. Atlanta, 2-unit play wins. Houston over 8 wins. Milwaukee under 7.5 wins. KC, I lose. It's funny how the pitcher Waka pitched really good against Detroit and not so good yesterday. And then San Diego over 9.5, I lose. Cleveland, I lose. And the 49ers under 7.5, I lose. The bets were Philly under 8.5, 2 units winner. Atlanta, 2 units winner. Houston over 8, 2 units winner. And my one loser was Kansas City with Waka. They actually lost the game, so I go 3-1 there, which I'll take every day. Let's go to 614. I keep getting this. This must be AI at its finest. I get a text from an attorney at 11 o'clock at night. Oh, we got your message. We'll call you back. So I block it because I go, I didn't call an attorney. And I don't know what it's for. And then I get 2 phone calls today from attorneys. Oh, yeah, I see the message. You were in a car accident and broke your arm. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. A, I didn't call you. B, I wasn't in a car accident. C, I didn't break my arm. Why are you bothering me? And I tell one, and then somebody else calls me. Why? You can't even relate to that. I says, look, I don't like scams. Oh, this isn't a scam. Well, then who the hell, what is it? Is this AI where somebody gets a hold of an attorney for me? I don't even get it. How I didn't call you. Where are you getting this from? And I got in a car accident and broke my arm. Where is this coming from? And if I did, I probably wouldn't have called this attorney. So it's one of these attorneys. Somebody must be playing a joke on this attorney, where the attorney is a hit and run guy, one of these bullshit attorneys, and ambulance chasers, hardly upholding the law. And again, one of the problems of the country. You don't mind attorneys when the law is broken, but if you get in a car accident, you break your arm, you don't need an attorney for that. I mean, you just need a doctor for it, I guess. So I don't know where that's coming from. I've never had that scam before. I went to the silver store yesterday and I bought 11 ounces of silver. I bought a 5-ounce bar and 6 regular ounces, which I was fine with. I prefer still buying the coins, although I did get a 5-ounce bar. I bought 11. It was $38.35 a piece, or $2 over spot. And it was like $4.17 or something. Hey, Pat, how are you? How's Singapore doing? Watch your Adam Smith. This is good for Hong Kong, but very, very good. It explains everything. You got some platinum. Why are you buying platinum? There's platinum money. You want to stick with money. How good in Singapore? That's good. The U.S., well, you must love the U.S. tariffs. I mean, it's such a great idea. It's so stupid. Trump's bankrupting us, but we're already at bankrupt. He must be blowing it up on purpose, I guess. Nobody can be this stupid as what Trump's doing. And the Scott Bassett, this George Soros guy, is doing everything he does turns to crap. Why are you buying platinum? Is this very limited? What's it going to be used in? Is the price really cheap? Is it being fixed on COMEX? I mean, what's the story on platinum? I don't have any desire to buy platinum. It keeps me away from buying gold. So I want to buy gold first and foremost. And as I talked yesterday with Mark McGuire, COMEX is breaking up because of China insisting on physical, and basically COMEX is drained. There's no more metal in there, so they can't. When Basel III hits in July, they can't cover it. They can't. So if you want to take delivery of your gold, they can't deliver it. So COMEX is bye-bye. So give it a little bit more life, and then it's gone. Then we get the Chinese pricing it. This will be very interesting because it'll go very high, because if you got 60,000 tons, you want the price to go up. I got this Joe Montana card. I'd much rather have it go up than sit there. Platinum is very limited and very undervalued. COMEX is bye-bye, yes. How do you know platinum is undervalued? How is it valued now? Is it not free market, or is it COMEX? If it's COMEX, I could understand. I'm not sure if it is or not. I know gold and silver and orange juice and coffee. Oil, I know, is also price fixed. So what is the demand for platinum, and how is it priced? So how do we know it's undervalued is the question. Platinum is COMEX price. Okay, so we know the price is undervalued, but it's not money. So gold, everybody's going to need because the dollar's running out, right? This is worthless and this is worthless. So you need real money, and that's gold and silver, not platinum. So what do I need with platinum? And it's used for what purpose? But why would I want it? That sounds more like a stock play than a money play. So platinum always used to be more expensive than gold. Yeah. Until gold's starting to hit its value. Absolutely. But I understand that, but tell me why it's undervalued. I mean, okay, it's COMEX, but what is it? What's the demand for platinum? Is this in cars or catalytic converters, or what is the big deal about platinum that I should be buying it? You're speculating. Yes, I know that. I would focus on gold and silver. I would buy more silver than platinum right now. The supply is shown so silver. The difference is silver's money, and when gold gets too expensive, you'll go to silver. As I did yesterday, so I'm at the coin store, and he shows me his lists, and the ounce of gold's now 35 something. The half ounce American's over 2,000. The quarter ounce American is 1,000, and the tenth of an ounce American is now 400. So I was going to buy the tenth of an ounce if it was low threes, but it was 400. And I have a lot of 10-ounce gold, and so I basically bought the silver at $38, $2 over spot. This is a joke, and so I got 11 ounces, and just because that's my lucky number. But seven's my lucky number, but also 11. I couldn't go seven. I wanted to go 10, but I went 11. I also bought some more silver as well. Silver's just talk about undervalued, but it's money, and that's where it has it over platinum. Why would I buy platinum? Again, what's it used for versus I don't care what gold and silver are used for. I only care that they're money and that they've been manipulated down by COMEX, and that's breaking with BRICS and China, and let's get on the rocket ship. So that's kind of my point, but I don't know what platinum does. I can research it. It's I get your point. It's undervalued because it's COMEX. It's limited. Okay. And I would say, well, silver's a better buy because it's $38 versus, I don't know what you spend on platinum. The military has high demand for platinum. I know they have a high demand for silver and the Tomahawk missiles and some other missiles. Now, is platinum one of these precious rare earths that China has that they won't give to the U.S.? I know there's certain minerals that China has they don't want to trade to the U.S. anymore, and Trump's crying about that. But I honestly, if it is, but how long are these wars going to go on? I think we're getting to the point. Everything's going to go bankrupt. I mean, yeah, the U.S. can keep printing money, but it has no value. And I mean, in 1923, when the Germans kept hyperinflating the Reichsmark, they printed a lot, but it went on the wall. It was wallpaper. It went into the wheelbarrows, so you could keep printing, but it had no value. Nobody wanted it. Platinum is 140 times rarer than silver. I think the wars will escalate to worst case scenario. I believe because most of the world's Keynesian, and that's why I'm doing Adam Smith today. Most of the world's Keynesian believes we got to stimulate the economy and print more money. So if we have a war, there's more demand for the weapons, right? Everybody needs weapons in a war. They need tanks and planes and guns, and I think that's why we have these wars. So people will have to buy, goods and service of military to do that, right? Well, if we have a war, then they got to buy bazookas and tanks and Tomahawk missiles. Although now we're going to drones, as they did in Russia, where they did all this shooting with drones. They didn't use weapons. So think that through again. Do they need platinum? Is this something, or are we just going to Star Wars where everything's a drone? Yes, especially high-tech weapons full of precious metals. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess, but how many can you have, and how many are they going to use? Putin will not nuke anybody. He might send in these missiles that are kind of like nukes. He's getting ready to send them to England. I don't think he'll have nukes like World War II, where it just blows up the whole population. I think you'll just have these bigger missiles hit certain targets, but Yeah, if I'm Putin, I'm just going to go after Zelensky and Starmer and Metz and these guys, and just that ends the war if I get rid of them. So I think that's what Putin does. He doesn't want war. He wants business. He wants money, and she definitely can't have war. He doesn't have any money. He's got gold, but he doesn't have a military. The U.S. has no military. The Ukraine really doesn't have a military anymore. They've lost 1.5 million people, and they're putting in young boys are in the military now. Well, they kidnap them right off the street, put them in the army, don't train them. Here's a gun, and they call that the army. I mean, so I don't know which is worse, invading them or having them with their own things. It's ridiculous. Tons of silver. Yeah, I know silver's in the thing. That's what I'm saying. The silver's in it, but it's not. The silver has nothing to do with. It's money. That's why we want it. And there really isn't any silver left. It's just paper silver, and I would assume they're doing paper platinum also. But I get it's rare, but if there's none left, there won't have a value, right? Because if they've used it all up, give me the value of it. Especially if they're blowing it up, right? If they're sending it in missiles, it's gone. Gold you can't get rid of. Gold's indestructible. Silver is destructible, but it's not basically for these Tomahawk missiles. That's not why silver will go up. It'll go up because it's money. And so it has that value that I don't believe platinum, I know, is not money. So that's the only issue with platinum. We buy gold and silver because it is money, because the dollars, because this is worth nothing. We buy gold and silver. That doesn't trigger me to buy platinum because platinum's not money. So that's my argument against platinum. Now, it certainly could be limited. Is there a substitute? They'll use silver instead of platinum. Got to find silver. There's probably not a lot of silver left. There's probably not any gold or silver really left. It's just these paper derivatives that Wall Street, that J.P. Morgan does. So there's a note in my notes, and it says J.P. Morgan sold arms to both sides in World War I. I read it yesterday, and that's what you're dealing with scumbags like J.P. Morgan. Platinum was money in Russia before the 20th century. I've never heard of platinum being money here or anywhere else. It could have been in Russia, but it's got to be a precious metal, and it's got to be done. It's got to be what people want, and it's hard to beat gold. Everybody wants gold. Silver is me. People recognize that. They go to gold first. But as gold's about to hit 5,000. So when that happens, and now I got to go into the store and it's 5,000 for an ounce of gold. Am I going to buy an ounce of gold, or am I going to buy an ounce of silver because it'll be $50? So silver, as we saw from Mark McGuire yesterday, has to hit. It'll break to 40. And from 40, it goes right to 50. And then we know it should go right to 100. And then once people realize that they've all been screwed, then it'll hit 500. But it's getting close to going to 40, and then there's nothing stopping it going to 50. So I don't know at what point. I thought it was 36, and now we're at 36, and now I think it's 38, but keeps getting moved a little bit. But that's what's happening. Gold is. Now, I talked to the owner of the gold store yesterday. Very interesting chats we have. And he's still taking money, so I'm happy. But his thing is that gold is, he says it's just flowing like water. People are coming in and buying and buying and buying the gold. They must be listening to our class. And he's marked it up. Like I said, he's over 2,000 for a half ounce of gold, but yet it's not 4,000. It's 3,400, and he's 2,000 for silver. and he's 1,000 now for quarter ounce. Again, that's 4,000. We're not at 4,000. So he's basically 4,000 on his little stuff, and then on his ounces, he's 3,500. And he had 3/10 of an ounce Eagles, and he had 2 half-ounce Maple Leafs, and then he had four 1-ounce Buffaloes in his case. And Prophet, I'll talk to you. Give me an email, Prophet. I'll give you a synopsis of what he said. He said, now crossing, you got to be careful shipping because it's expensive. If you're going to ship gold, it's a lot of insurance, he said, but it's better if you drive over and basically just, he wouldn't declare it. He would just keep it. And he says it's a random search. So if you just act normal and say, no, I'm just coming to visit a friend, they probably won't stop you. Now, when you get here, if you're coming here, we go to my guy's store. He said, no problem. I can take the kilogram, which is 32 or 33 ounces of gold, and give you 32 ounces, give you ounces for the bar. I says, it's Egyptian. He says, that's okay. That's fine. It's got the markings. It'll be fine. And then you can just, he'll order it and he'll get it, in a few days. And then just, he thought, how we have now, since Maple Leafs are smaller, you get these white cases. Let me show you just a second. So instead of having 32 ounces like this, you use the silver thing. You can get the coins and put them in here, just like you have the silver in here. This is what I got yesterday. So I got, this was kind of a neat one. These are all 1 ounce of silvers. And I even got a maple leaf. They were all $38, didn't matter. Nice and shiny. So I like these. And they all, 1 troy ounce, $9.99 fine silver. Now, but if you get the ounces of gold, so now we switch it to 32 ounces of gold, you can get approximately, and if you don't use the plastic, so if you don't put it in this, but you just leave it like this, you should be able to get at least 21 in here. So if you get 2 cases, you put 20 in one, you put 12 in the other. So now instead of 32 ounces like this, you've got your ounces in here. Well, if you can shove 2 of those in your pockets. Now, he said the thing also at the border is they don't search you unless they find, drugs or alcohol in the car. If they find drugs in the car, they will search you. But they're not looking for gold and silver. So you just leave them in, provided they don't search. If they're quiet. And even if they do a random search, they're not going to search you. They're going to search the car. So if you're coming over the border, now the bar, I would just slide in my pocket because it's just a bar. But once you exchange it for the 32 ounces, you put it in 2 of these, put those in your pocket. They don't search you, so you should be fine. So as far as declaring, there's nothing you're declaring. You're not buying or selling here. You're not declaring anything. I think you declare to sell. if that's your job. But just, I don't, I crossed the border with this. I don't declare it. It's now worth what, 3,400 divided by 4 is 6, 12, 18, 24, 8, 16. So it's worth about $900. It's worth about $2,700 now. I don't declare it. Nobody said they see me wearing it. Nobody says a word. So I think if you're just doing nothing with it, I think you're fine. So that's what he said. Just come over from Canada. Just don't declare anything at the border. Put it in your pants. They won't search you. If you got nothing in the car to worry about, if they do search the car, they're looking for drugs and alcohol and firearms. And that's it. And if you, but they won't physically do a search on you unless they find, if they find drugs, they'll search you. But if they don't find anything, they're not going to search you. And they're really not looking for gold or silver. So then go to the store. He said he can, I told him, we don't really want the money. We want to change it. I said, we might sell like 2 ounces just to get money. And he says he could wire it to Canada or Switzerland or whatever country you're in. He can wire you the money. And I don't know what the charge of the wire costs, but so let's say you then get your 32 ounces and then you say, okay, give me money for 2 of the ounces or 3 of the ounces. He'll wire you the money into your account and then give you the rest. So you'll have 29 ounces and you put it in here and you're done. And you've made the exchange. Cause I said, you're getting bars. So, we worked at, I think it's 113,000 a bar. But I said, but what if he needs some money? He doesn't want to sell the bar. It's much easier to sell the ounce. So that would be the point. And then, so shipping's expensive with the insurance, if they'll even insure it, which you got to be careful with. But that's really the point of it. So if you do want to do that, you don't really have to declare it because you're really not doing it as a business. You're not buying or selling it unless we're going to Switzerland, but then we're going to give it to Egon and put it in the safe. So we're really not doing that either. So let's take a look at platinum here, as long as we're on that subject. So again, highly recommend. This is a fascinating 50 minutes, and he has 2 of them. And definitely, he was born in like the early 1700s, and the whole basis of the U.S. was Adam Smith and back then to use it. And it's about freedom. It's about us being free and not the government. The key I wrote down somewhere, should the government intervene or leave it alone to us? And the answer is they should never intervene. This is the problem we're having now. The government's intervening, and trying to control the markets, and you can't. The only people that can is us. That's laissez-faire economics. That's Austrian, or what do you call it? Austrian economics or classical economics. That's what it means. Socialism's bad because the government wants to run the economy and they can't. And everybody wants the handout, which they can't. All right, let's see. Let's go to platinum. Platinum has a wide range of uses, including catalytic converters for automobiles, jewelry, and medical devices. It's also used in electronics, industrial processes, and even as a catalyst for various chemical reactions. So I don't see it in military platinum. Is that what we're talking about? Automotive catalytic converters, jewelry. I'm not buying it for jewelry. Medical devices, stents and catheters, electronics, hard disk drives, optical fibers, industrial processes. Platinum is a catalyst in chemical reactions such as nitric acid, silicone, and benzene. Other uses. Platinum is also used in dental fillings, turbine blades, spark plugs, LCDs, and fuel cells. So, does that make me want to buy it? No. Why is platinum so valuable? Rarity and scarcity. Platinum's rarity is 15 to 20 times scarcer than gold, plays a significant role in the appeal. Collectors often seek out rare items that are difficult to obtain, and platinum offers a high level of exclusivity. So it's rare. What industries uses platinum the most? Automotive. Why buy platinum instead of gold? This is a good question. Strength. While both gold and platinum are strong, platinum is harder. Well, platinum is not harder, and certainly gold is indestructible. Platinum is denser than gold, which means it's more durable, is less likely to break. You can't break gold, first of all. It's indestructible. This could have been from Caesar. Hopefully it is. Hopefully I find a JC in there somewhere. So that's bullshit. While platinum is rarer than gold, its price is generally cheaper due to market dynamics, industrial demand, and historical factors, and the fact it's not money. How much is platinum? What is richer than platinum? It's not platinum either. Meet rhodium, the dazzling ultra rare metal that more valuable than both. Yeah, but again, there's got to be demand for it. The 10 most expensive metals compared to gold include californium, rhodium, palladium, platinum, iridium, ruthenium, rhenium, silver, and iodinium. Is platinum a good investment? I'd say no. The largest consumer of platinum in the world, of course, is China. Can you pawn platinum at a jewelry store? Yeah. Most pawn shops, if not all, only accept gold jewelry, but others can also accept silver, platinum, and other products. If they can make money, they're going to take it. Is platinum used in electronic cars? Yes, platinum is used in some types of electronic vehicles, specifically those using hydrogen fuel cells. While battery-powered electric cars don't typically use platinum, hydrogen fuel cell vehicles utilize platinum. All right. So let's see, what is platinum price? Platinum is $1,200 US, down 63 today at whatever time this is. How much is 1 ounce of platinum today? So it's $12.40. If you bought it in grams, it's $40. Is platinum cheaper than gold? Yes. So I see what you're doing, but I don't smell what you're cooking. In comparison, let's look at gold. So gold ended yesterday at 34.33. It used to be more platinum, but now that was because gold was price fixed. Silver 36.32. So silver's got a long way to run up. That's what will happen. So silver, forget the ratio. The ratio is meaningless. It's being held down. Once COMEX breaks, we're going to get a huge uplift in silver. Hence why we buy it. Gold 34.33 should be seeing 3,500 easily next week on its way to 4,500, 5,000 shortly after that. Silver, if it gets to 40, it will go to 50. And then hopefully by summer, we will see $100 silver. I think by July will be, it'll break to 50 with this Basel 3, and then we get 100. You don't keep it down because of Tomahawk missiles. That's just ridiculous. So gold, good day, up $54, 34.33. See, but that's the difference. Gold goes up $54 and silver for some reason goes up 9 cents. I still don't understand. I guess there's so much more paper silver out there, but it just, yeah, a big move, it goes up $1. Where on a good day, gold's up $54. Now, would I sell my gold to buy silver has been the question floating around here. And to tell you the truth, I wouldn't sell my gold at all because it's going up to 5,000. So why do I want to sell it now? Because gold's 3,400, go up to, let's say it goes up to 4,400, goes up $1,000. Okay. Um, is silver going to move like that? No. So if I exchange it for silver, now, granted, I can sell 1 ounce of gold and get 100 ounces of silver. I'll be with you in a second, Pat. Gives you 100 ounces of silver. Now it's a little different. So if silver goes up $1, you made 100. So if silver goes up $10, you made 1,000 versus the gold goes up $1,000. Now, if you have 100 ounces, that really went up $100,000. So it's really the multiplier. So if you get 1,000 ounces of silver and it goes up $100, you make, a lot more money than gold going up 100 ounces, because you probably don't have 1,000 ounces of gold. It's far easier to get 1,000 ounces of silver. So 1,000 ounces of silver at $100 is 5 zeros. So that's $100,000 your silver you would make on your silver. And I think it's not hard to get, like here, to buy 11 ounces of gold would have cost me 11 times 3,500. So it would have cost me almost 40,000. For 11 ounces of silver, it cost me $400. That's the trick, is you can buy a lot of ounces, but the problem with silver until recently is but it only moves a dime or 20 cents. So if you take the whole price times quantity, you're far better off in gold. If you can get in the neighborhood of 50, 75 ounces, even though you could have 1,000 ounces of silver, it's not moving enough, but it will move. And that's the key. Mr. Pat, record shorts on silver, more than 1 year of mining production, all-time record. Well, everybody's buying silver. China goes right to the mine now, and they buy what's called doré, which is what they pull out of the ground. Then they take it to the refiners in Switzerland, and Switzerland will make them into bars or coins. And so knowing there's no silver in COMEX and you can't get delivery on it, they're just going right to the mine. And they're giving the mine a lot more than the $36. So if you go to a silver miner, which there aren't a lot of because there's no profit in it, right? Keep in mind, a gold miner has a lot of silver because he's digging up the earth, he's getting gold, but he's also getting silver with it. And so China goes to Newmont Mining and says, I'll give you $75 an ounce for your doré. And then they take it, and then they go to Switzerland, and Egon's guys then make it into bars, and then it goes to China, instead of buying it from COMEX itself, but never getting it delivered. Record shorts on silver, more than 1 year of mining production. Yeah, because it's paper. It's paper. That's the whole point of COMEX. It's bullshit because it's paper. So they're just running, and there's 4% real and 96% bullshit. And that's why it's ending, because China says, fuck you. I want the gold. I want the silver. I want the physical. I don't want your paper crap. How this system came about is beyond me. How it's allowed to function is beyond me, but it's blowing up. And like I said, July, maybe August, it's all done. I'm not sure how long it'll take in July, but you can't fuck China and Russia over when they want delivery of their physical. You got to deliver them. Me and you don't have to, but for them, yeah, you're going to deliver. And so London, and I believe London's actually running the U.S. I believe London's the one that is making it's just price fixing a little bit more. I think JP Morgan just goes along with it to make money. Like in Madoff, JP Morgan made money with Madoff. He don't care what's going on as long as he makes his money. So I don't think he's smart enough to run these derivatives to keep the price down. I think London's doing that, but that's what JP Morgan does. So he prints all these options and the price goes down, even though it's a bullshit price. And so that's what's going to be broken. And China's like, no, you need the bar with serial number for you to trade it. And people will buy it, and they'll raise the price because they're broke, China. So China needs money, so they're going to raise the price of the gold. And as long as there's a U.S. dollar we can use to convert, we'll be fine. Problem's going to be when there is no U.S. dollar, then what will the gold be? The value of gold will be valued in gold. So we'll see. But that's why you'll buy a house with gold. Ukrainian Zelensky bought majority share in a platinum mine in South Africa. Well, that's trouble. Well, he probably won't be alive to enjoy it, but isn't war great? Give me all this money and then that. Yeah, but you got to get, is it a new mine or an old one? It takes a lot of years, even though they found gold in Argentina, Colombia area border. It'll take 10 years to get the gold out. And it was only like 1,000 tons, which is nothing. They make a big deal and they call it ounces. Oh, it was 300,000 ounces. Yeah, do the math. That's 1,000 tons, which is nothing. So yeah, but he might bought it, but what's he going to do with it? He doesn't know how to mine it, and how long, at what stage is it at? But he's not smart enough to buy gold. He's an idiot. I wouldn't be buying platinum mines. I'd be buying gold and silver, but there's nothing like gold and silver. You start fishing with platinum or palladium or rhodium or these others. It's the biggest key about gold and silver. It's money. This is worthless. So where are you going to go? You're going to go to gold and silver. You're not going to run to platinum. So the demand for platinum, while it's good automotive, is not going to be money. And that's why you stick with money. So platinum is limited. So silver. So is gold. Gold's very limited. But they're money. So people, why are we buying gold? Because it's money. And platinum isn't. I can't go to Kroger's with platinum, but I could go with gold. So to me, a platinum is this. Platinum's a card like Bitcoin. They're baseball cards. They're speculative, but they're not money. This is not money, right? I could trade it. I could barter it. I'd rather barter this than cheap silver, mercury dimes, or whatever. But this is the barter, and that's what Bitcoin is, and that's what this palladium is. It's nothing more than you got to trade something where gold is actually money and silver is. So that's what you have there. So I want to buy money. I don't want to speculate on platinum. Again, it's catalytic converters, but how many cars are going to be bought? Keep in mind, let's look at the whole picture. You just tariffed steel and aluminum. That's what a car is made out of. So the price of the car went up means if the cost of the car goes up, the price probably has to, because again, you either do that or you go out of business, right? So again, If this cost me $20 and I can sell it for 30, I'm fine. I'm in business. But if my cost now went up to 40 and I'm selling it for 30, I got to go out of business or try to raise my price to 50, which I can't do. So people think just because your costs go up, you just raise price, you're out of your minds. It doesn't work like that. Only if the market, will buy it at that higher price, which we won't, unless it's something needed, like gasoline for the car, electricity for the house, your rent, because you need some place to live, or your mortgage, clothes, because you need, but you might just might just keep wearing older clothes. So there's a lot of stuff like that where you have to be very careful with that. The gold is, that's the point of it. Will people pay more for it? And most items they won't pay for. They don't need to. Or like I say with food, I'll just substitute. If broccoli all of a sudden is $10, I won't buy the broccoli. I'll eat cauliflower or stuff like that more. Thanks, sister. I got to go to bed. It'll be joining you soon. Okay. Well, have a nice night. Sleep well. How's mom? Mom's okay. She was sick, but I think we got her better. But okay, yeah. So enjoy your sleep. And here it's Saturday afternoon. I know it's Saturday night for you. Stay safe in Singapore. Buy your silver. And you're welcome, of course. So that's what you have. It's a speculation. Do you want to buy platinum or a Bobby Orr card? Platinum or a Tom Brady rookie card? It's all the same. This is limited. There's $3.99. It's Tom Brady. It's a rookie card. What is more? But they're the same thing. This and platinum and Bitcoin. Only thing is, this is real and Bitcoin is not. Platinum is, but are you buying platinum? Is it platinum coins that you're buying, or bars, or what is it that you're buying in platinum? So that's what you got to do. You got to realize, is it money or is it, then it becomes a collectible. And then what do you want to buy? This is money, but this is not money, but it has a value. And so the question is, yeah, I want money because our money's worthless. But then once you get into Bitcoin, well, wait, why won't I get a Brady card or Bobby Orr or Mickey Mantle? Why would I want Bitcoin? Bitcoin's not going anywhere. It hit 100,000, which fine, but it's not going any higher. And then you can see it keeps collapsing at 111 because then Larry Fink and the other guy keep shorting it. Oh, they don't short it. Yeah, they do. That's what they're doing. That's what the ETFs are for, is to short it. So just because JP Morgan's allowing you to buy Bitcoin with them doesn't mean he likes Bitcoin. I think the only thing they're letting it run up is when you need to sell it. They want to take that and pay off the debt with. So they're just trying to get instruments that can pay off the debt. Anyway, so that's what's going on with that. So again, if you're doing what Prophet's doing, where he's getting gold, or you need to take 10, 15 ounces, put it in this, because this fits in your pocket, and nobody really is going to know you have it. Nobody's going to really, search you. Nobody can really steal it. Put it in your front pocket. Even Will Smith can't pickpocket you with it. And then that's it. So you have it, and off you go. And so that's really key. Anyway, so the difference is gold and silver are money. The cards, the Bitcoin, the platinum is a collectible. All right, let's look at baseball. It's 11:49. First game at 1:05. We have Miami at Washington. Washington 130-9. We got Cade Gibson 1-3 with an 0.93 against Trevor Williams 3-7 with the 5.91. Both these teams Not very good. Washington, five hitters. Miami with five hitters. We played Miami over nine yesterday and it won. Who is Cade Gibson with his 0.93 ERA and he's 1-3? How could he lose? This guy's nothing. He's 12 strikeouts and five walks. Yeah, he's a reliever. So let's go over in this game. Trevor Williams, 3-7 with the 5.91. So let's go over. Let's go Miami over 9 again, as we did yesterday and it won. So good hitting. The reliever goes one, maybe two innings. Trevor Williams with the 5.91. You can't bet on Washington. You can't bet Miami because this guy's pitching maybe two innings. Cincinnati at Detroit. Detroit 185-8. Brady Singer 6-4 with the 4.59 against Joe Flaherty 5-6 with the 3.41. Now they say Flaherty's getting pitching better lately. Let's see. His last three starts, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 2 hits, 4 hits, and 2 hits. Before that, against Cleveland, he gave up 3 runs, 2 runs, 5 runs, 5 runs, 4 runs. So he's been getting better, but of course, that's because he plays the White Sox, the 49ers who aren't hitting, and the Cubbies who are a good hitting team. So the Cub wins impressive. The White Sox and the 49ers aren't. However, Cleveland, Toronto, and Texas and California were obnoxious in Houston. 4-5-5, 2-3. What do we take out of it? Well, which trend do we want? Okay, the last few games he's better, but overall he's got a 3.41. Cincinnati hits. Brady Singer 6-4 at the 4.59. So I'm going to go Detroit over. They're very inconsistent hitting wise. Over 8. So I'll go Detroit over 8. Cincy's got 4 hitters. Detroit's got 6. They're all over the place. They got guys who go from 280 to 220. Then they bring up a new guy who's hitting 600. He's 6 for 10 or something, right? So as soon as he goes 0 for 4, he'll be hitting 200. Flaherty, he's hot now, but I don't see it lasting. Again, Cincinnati can hit the ball. All right, Pittsburgh and the Cubbies. The Cubbies 250-7. Mike Burrows 1-1 with the 5 against Matthew Boyd 5-3 with the 2.89. In Chicago, let's go over 7. You see, it's hard to go over 7 with the Pirates. All right, we'll take the Cubbies. Boyd 5-2, 2.89, 5-3, and Burrows 1-1 with the 5 ERA. So let's. I'm always worried, and I've been kind of noticing. I don't want to take a Pitt who doesn't hit and go over in it. Those are bad selections. So let's not go over with Pitt. We'll just take the Cubbies. Toronto, Philadelphia. Let's check if Bryce Harper played yesterday. Philadelphia wins 8-0. Ranger Suarez is cooking. 5-1 with the 2.32. Go get him, Ranger. And no, Harper did not play. Turner, Schwarber, Baum, Castellanos, Kepler, Real Mutu, Scott. No, he didn't. He didn't play yesterday. How big a loss? They won 8-0 yesterday. Philly, Toronto, Bowden Francis 2-8 with the 6.12. Christopher Sanchez 5-2. So we're going to go with Philly, and we'll make this 2 units. Good pitcher, and Toronto's pitchers 2-8 with a 6 ERA. Even though Harper's out, they got good hitting on Philly. The White Sox in Texas. Texas hitting the hell out of the ball the last few games. They got 16 runs a couple times. Texas minus 357.5. Mike Vasile, 3-2 with a 2.18. Wow. Good pitcher for the White Sox. Jacob deGrom, 6-2 with the 2.22. We're going under. Texas under 7.5. We'll go 2 units with deGrom. The way that they don't hit much normally in the White Sox, their pitcher's got a 2.18. He's 3-2, so I don't think he's a bullpen guy. So deGrom we like. Normally we go him, but since Vaselli with a 2.18 on the White Sox, I noticed their pitching's getting a little better. Then we will go under as we have 2 good pitchers. California, Baltimore. Baltimore 160-9. Tyler Anderson 2-3 with the 3.99. Tamayuki Sugana 5-4 with a 3.23 for Baltimore. Now this is going to go to hitting. California with 3 hitters. Baltimore with 4 hitters. Do we get to 9? Seems like a high number. This is what it was yesterday. It was 10.5. We went under. It was 2-0 Baltimore. So we're going to go under again. Under 9. I'm not going to bet it, but we will go under. Both. See, these are the games I get caught on. A 3.99 pitcher against a 3.23 pitcher. They're good enough to shut you out and bad enough to give up 5 runs. And it's all matchups, so we don't know. So we're not going to bet it, but that's why we either like the Groms and the Skeins, or we like the Pigs. Tampa Bay and the JETSs. The Mets minus 145-7. Look at the Mets, 45-25. Tampa 37-32. Drew Rasmussen 5-4 with a 2.22 against Tyler Miguel 5-4 with a 3.76. We understand the 7 runs. The Mets are mighty. The Mets are mighty good. Drew Rasmussen with the 2.22. The Mets are down to 1 hitter. They got some injuries, and Tampa Bay has 5 hitters. So I'm going to go with Tampa in this game. Better pitcher. The Mets have injuries. Tampa can hit. And McGill is a 3.76 ERA versus my 2.22 guy. So I'm going to take Tampa here. The professor at his finest. Minnesota and Houston. Minnesota 102.7. Joe Ryan 7-2 with the 2.96 against Hunter Brown 8-3 with a 1.82. Yummy. Okay, Houston under 7, and this will be our 3-unit game of the day. Hunter Brown, very good, but Joe Ryan is their ace. So it's ace against ace, 2.96, 1.82. There's not going to be scoring here. There shouldn't be scoring here. So we'll go 7's just enough to make the bet. Colorado and Atlanta. Colorado's up to 13 wins. Atlanta 30-38. Atlanta 325 and 8.5. Chase Dollander 2-6 with the 6.85. Spencer Strider 0-5 with the 5.40. Both teams shit pitchers. Let's go Atlanta over 8.5. We'll go 2 units on that game. I mean, if you look at it, can I seriously bet Spencer Strider 0-5 with the 5.40 to win at minus 325? That's not a good 325. That's maybe a 200 because Colorado's so bad. But you got to have your pitcher, right? It's like Mahomes. If he's out and you're using the backup, even though they're playing Tennessee, they don't have Mahomes. So with a Strider 5-4, this is not Chris Sale. So therefore, we have to be careful. And Atlanta should hit the hell out of Colorado. But Colorado should be able to score some runs against 5.40. So that puts it at definitely an over 8.5. St. Louis goes against Milwaukee. Milwaukee 125 and 8. Andre Palantine 4-3 with the 4.75. Jose Quintana, 4-1 with the 2.66. Milwaukee, 38 wins. St. Louis, 36 wins. Andre Palantine, 4-3 with the 4.75. Quintana, 4-1 with the 2.66. Yeah, we can go Milwaukee here, but I don't love it. Is Quintana that good? Well, he's got a 2.66, so we'll give him credit for that. Oakland, KC. I had KC yesterday. Oakland won. They beat Waka, which was a surprise. See, that's the problem. I watch him against Detroit, and he looks good. And I go, oh, well, he'll shut out Oakland. He gets his brains beat in. That's the problem with baseball. It's all matchups, just like football. But football, I can look at the history, and I got a week to make the pick. Here, it's day and day and day and day and day, and there's too many games every day. So unless you isolate, let's play the Yankees and the Mets and the Phillies and the Cubs, all the good teams, then maybe that's what you do. Or you bet against Colorado and the White Sox, who are getting better, the White Sox. So Oakland, KC minus 169.5. Jacob Lopez, 0-4 with a 6 ERA. Michael Lorenzen, 4-6 with a 5 ERA. So we're going to go over Oakland, over 9.5. We'll go 2 units on this. I like Oakland can hit. San Diego and Arizona. We got Arizona 175, 9.5. Ryan Burgett, 1-0 with the 1.26. Probably a bullpen guy against Zach Gallen, who's 4-8 with the 5.15. Let's check Burkett. And well, he just started. He pitched 4 times and gave up one inning. And then he pitched 5 innings against the 49ers and the Packers and gave up 2 runs. So he's only given up 2 runs. So he's a pretty good pitcher. But he switched from bullpen to starter. And I'll tell you, I'm going to take San Diego here. Arizona's minus 175. Zach Gallen is 4-8 with the 5.15. I'm sorry. I am not betting on a 5.15, and that 175 is ridiculous. This pitcher's okay. I mean, he's bullpen, and then he started, and you can't hit the guy. Nobody's hitting him. The 1.26, I'll give him 5 innings. San Diego's got good team. I don't know how many injuries there are, but they can hit the ball. So let's go San Diego. I think it's a good money line for San Diego. The Yankees in Boston. What happened yesterday? Yankees, but we had Boston. Boston won. They had cricket pitching. Today, the Yankees are 175, 8.5 at Boston. Carlos Rodon, 8-4 at the 2.87, has been pitching well. Hunter Dobbins, this is a third guy named Hunter, 3-1 with the 4.20. I'm gonna go Yankees, and I'm gonna go Yankees over 8.5. I think I'll bet the Yankees, just like in The Godfather. Cleveland, Seattle. We had Cleveland yesterday. They lost. Cleveland 35 wins, Seattle 34 wins. I don't know why people think Seattle's got a good team. They really suck. They don't hit. Seattle 135-7. Tanner Bibby, who's a good pitcher, 4-6 with the 3.81 against George Kirby, 1-3 with the 6.53. I'm going to go over 7, although I hate going over with Seattle. But in this case, this Kirby's with the 6.53 and Bibby with the 4, I just don't. It's not a lot to get 7 runs, but it'll be touch and go. I'm not going to bet it. And our last game's the 49ers and the Rams. Yesterday, the 49ers under 7.5 did not win, so it was high scoring. The Dodgers 185-9. We got Landon Root 4-4 at the 3.29 for San Francisco. Clayton Kershaw 1-0 with the 4.35. So we're going to go over here. Let's go the 49ers over 9. I'm not betting on Kershaw. He's not good. And Roop 4 1/4 of 3.29 is better, but again, I think I'll watch that. So that's your play. So Miami over 9, Detroit over 8, the Cubbies, Philly, Texas under 7.5, Baltimore under 9, Tampa Bay, Houston under 7, Atlanta over 8.5, Milwaukee, Oakland over 9.5, San Diego, the Yankees over 8.5, Seattle over 7, and the 49ers over 9. The bets: Philadelphia 2 units, Texas under 7.5. DeGrom's going. That's 2 units. Houston under 7 is 3 units. Atlanta over 8.5 is 2 units. Oakland over 9.5, 2 units, and the Yankees we're going to play for 2 units. So 2, 4, 6 bets, 6 plays, and that's the bottom line, Mr. Coldstone. All right, we look at NBA. And we lose, I think, by half a point. Getting 6.5 as a home dog. Indy's winning the whole game. And I turn it on with a minute left, and it's Oklahoma hits a shot to go up 1 or up 2. And I can't believe this score. So 111-104 when Indy's winning the whole game, and then that. Reminds you of game 1 when OKC was winning the whole game, and then that. So OKC, on one hand, off of the loss, they played well. On the other hand, as a road favorite, they covered. Now the series is tied at 2. Next game is in OKC. The series is tied at 2, and we got OKC 9.5, 223. So a series that started at 230 is now down to 225. Again, it doesn't go anywhere close to going over 111-104, a 215 game. So again, you have a 223 total. These guys doing the totals are drunk or something, because the total is like 20 points higher than it should be. Indy, OKC. Now here I like OKC. The series is now tied at 2. OKC must win this game, or they got to go back to Indy and win, and they'll be down 3-2. So I think OKC blows them out, and then I think Indy blows them out in game 6, and then we got a game 7. That's the way it should go. So you did get the loser back the first 4 games, and that worked. So theoretically, we should take Indy 9.5, but now it becomes, if OKC loses, they're down 3-2 going to Indy. So that changes the complexion now. Now we're getting close to you lose the series. Look for OKC big here, and then look for Indy big in game 6, and then anybody's guess in game 7. So that's it. So but it wasn't a big bet yesterday. The big bet we hope Indy would win would be tomorrow with OKC. The U.S. Open. And it is on TV from noon. It just started noon to 8 p.m. And view the full leaderboard. Sam Burns, never heard of, is 3 under, and he doesn't tee off till 4 o'clock. So I don't know what you're watching now. I mean, some bums. JJ Spawn. I can't. This guy's not even a professional. It's terrible. Victor Hovland, I think he's got a good chance. And that's it. There's only Burns at 3 under, and that's only because he played early. He didn't have the wins. Spawn at 2 under, and Victor Hovland is 1 under. Adam Scott's in the hunt. Trevor Lawrence, 1 over. Brooks Koepka, he's terrible, 2 over. Jason Day, I like Jason Day's chances at 3 over. Who are these? Max Gregerson, Sam Stevens, Nick Taylor, Trevor. I might as well go out there with these bums. There's no good player. Scotty Scheffler, 4 over. He's 7 off. I don't think this is too hard of a course for this guy. The number one ranked guy I could throw up number one my ass. John Rahm, I like 4 over. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I like him. I don't think he can win. Tom Kim, Ryan Fox. Oh, I hate Jordan Spieth. Xander Schauffele, the biggest choke on Jordan Spieth's the biggest choke than this guy. Rory, 7 over. I don't even, what's the cut? Well, apparently he's playing, so he made the cut. I mean, this is pathetic. These names you see, there's no Nicholas, there's no Watson. So the cut was, I guess, 7 over. Cameron Davis, he's 8 over for the round, and he's plus 15. Yeah. So yeah, plus 7 must have been the cut line. Yeah. So Phil Mickelson, he missed the cut. Philly. Mick Fleetwood missed the cut. He's always one of these that's never in the tournament, and then he shoots the 63 on the last day, and he misses by like 3 strokes. But he's a perennial loser, but he does that. Oh, Bryson DeChambeau, the worst guy on the tour to win, 10 over, missed the cut. With his putting style, I don't know how this guy makes any putts with the worst putting style I've ever seen in my life. You got to be comfortable when you putt, so you want to lay your hands in front of you. He's got his hands like this, where they're straight out. You cannot putt like that. It's impossible. And you can see how many putts he misses. All right. So that's that. Let's go back to baseball. So baseball is picked. We've talked gold and silver. Let's go to Adam Smith. All right. So Adam Smith, what do we know about him? Well, I know he wrote this book that I got. This is highly advised reading. The Wealth of Nations, Adam Smith. And what's so special about that? Why him? Because he's all about individualism and freedom. And like I said, the struggle is, should government intervene or leave the market alone? And the conclusion is the government should leave the market alone. That means enough of this welfare state and the intervention and ruining the money supply. All this is government ruining the economy. That's what you have in every country. They print the money to death. That's the government getting involved. He's for gold. He's for freedom. He's for you make your own decisions. You develop your skill set. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do what makes you happy. Government can't tell you that. Government cannot spend your money better. Government cannot run an economy or a market. They have no idea what we want. Now, specific examples are eBay, where me and you can go into eBay and buy gold, buy silver, buy Mantle cards, whatever we want to buy. We can buy books. We can buy movies. That's what eBay is. It's a free market. There should be, really, it's about freedom and free market. So If I go on eBay and I start screwing people over, I get all these negatives. Nobody buys from me. So I can't do that on eBay. I got to be a good seller. I got to sell what I'm saying, and it's got to. Now the price is up to you if you what you want to pay for it. But basically, did the item come the way you thought? And as long as that is, then and did you ship it in a timely? So if I sold this car and I put $40,000 on it and you buy it, you've agreed to the price. Will ship it for $10. You give me the $10 and I ship it to you, and it comes like this, and then you're happy. You're going, yep, this is good. This guy, the card was as advertised. The shipping was timely. The price is, if he doesn't like the price, he doesn't have to bid on it. That's his freedom, right? That's what this is all about. That's why I quote Adam Smith. That's the problem with socialism, which is Keynesian, which is government control. It's impossible for the government to tell you what you want to be free and to be happy. It's all about you making your choices and being allowed to make your choices and not fucking with our money. By doing that, you're killing our choices. So if the money's ruined, how can I travel and go meet Daria? How can I, go to Vegas and gamble? How can I bet football if the money's worthless? And that's the problem. That's why we keep buying this. This is freedom, gold and the silver. I'm not sure that platinum is going to be freedom. Again, be careful because you're buying platinum's priced in dollars. Gold and silver end up being priced in gold and silver, and the price will move very dramatically. So you got to be careful. And even this is priced in dollars. However, because this is a real asset, highly demanded, extremely limited, there'll be bids on it with gold-backed currency or brics currency. They would still have that. Where Warren Buffett fails is he thinks, well, I'll keep $20 billion in treasuries. Well, they're not going to be worth anything. You got to get your money out of the dollar and into gold and silver. You can't leave it in there. That's your freedom. You're losing it because you won't have money. You won't have freedom. Why would you leave it in treasuries? Are you out of your mind? Nobody wants it. You got a $37 trillion debt that nobody wants treasuries. So what are you going to do with it? Well, I want to cash it in. Yeah, that ain't going to happen. So, a big mistake by Warren Buffett. To me, you got to earn that you're smart, and he doesn't earn it from me. Anyway, so in communism or socialism, which is Keynesian, they want the market to control it. They want the government to control the market, not us to control the market. That's what price fixing is. It never works because the producers got to be able, I got to be able to make this thing cost money. You can't price fix it. I've got to be able to sell it at profit. By price fixing it, you say you can only sell it for $30, but it cost me $40, so I can't produce it. That's what price fixing does. It doesn't allow me to. I got to be able to make profit by making this. So it costs $30. I got to be able to sell it for $40. If you price control it to $25, I can't make it because it's going to be $30. My cost is more than my selling price, and therefore I can't. That's why these with price fixing, you always have empty shelves on the store because people can't make it at that price because price is not got to be controlled by the market. That's why it's so hard with tariffs to sit there and think you can you're going to raise the cost that you'll be able to raise the price. You're not going to be able to raise the price. It's not going to happen. So that's the big problem. It's the cost of you're raising cost, but you're taking my cost out, right? I got my cost down to 20. I'm selling it for 30, and now you tariff me. You're fucking all these countries because then they can't. Trump's looking at it like we'll get all this tax revenue from tariffs, but you're driving everybody's cost up, and they can't just. So I'm already thinking, I'm Canadian Club. Okay, it cost me 20. I got my costs down, and I got a market where I can sell for 30. Trump comes in with tariffs, is now making my costs go up for no reason, just the tariff part of it now raises it to 35. And now I'm fucked because I can't sell it for 40. That's why tariffs are no good. They control that and they take the freedom out. The company's fine if you leave them alone, and we're fine. Now the consumer doesn't, I can't buy Canadian Club. It's too much, or they're not going to make it because they can't sell it and they go out of business. Either way, you're hurting me, the consumer, because I can't buy it where I've been buying it. And there's no reason the price went up except for your stupid tariffs. I don't get where Trump is this stupid, but he apparently is, or he's listening to George Soros as a way to make profit, as a way to pay off his debt. He's using tariffs to increase tax revenue, which it won't work, especially at the percent he's doing. And what are you doing with China? Well, anybody that buys anything from China, we're going to sanction you or we're going to tariff you. He's going to penalize you. Well, no, that's not what Adam Smith talks about. It's free trade. You must have free trade, and free markets for prosperity is the key to Adam Smith. That's the other key to him. So it's got to be free trade, free markets, freedom. You're free to choose what you want and buy it. You're free to hire who you want. You're free to buy machinery and ship it and all that. You're free to do and choose to. You're free to get your skill, division of labor, your skill set. You're free to maximize it. What do you like? You like drawing, you draw. You like reading, you read. You like doing finance and economics, you do that. You want to be a lawyer, you do that. You want to be a doctor, you do that. Whatever you want to be, you can be, and that adds to your division of labor, which adds to your worth. That's how you said you measure value, is not gold, but your division of labor, your skill set. You keep laissez-faire, you keep the government out of everything. We don't need them in. It should be a very limited government with the U.S. in 1776 came from Adam Smith. That's why we were the most prosperous country ever. That's what happened to Hong Kong. They were Adam Smith. China was Adam Smith. So if you want to be a strong country, you be Adam Smith. And what is it to become the financial power? Low taxes, because you want the people to keep their money. Free trade is the most important thing. And I'll get into that in a second. You must have laws so people can't get taken advantage of. You must have gold, stable money. You cannot print your money to death, and good communications. So why do I talk free trade? Why is free trade important and not tariffs? Because let's say certain countries like Hong Kong. I'm not sure about Singapore, Pat, but Hong Kong. Hey, Prophet. It's hard to drink the baking soda. It's got such a bad taste to it. I put a little in a glass of water, and the longer it sits in the water, the worse the taste gets. So I haven't really done. I've tried it a couple times, but there's got to be more to it than just putting it in a spoonful in a glass of water. Maybe it's just this much and not that much. I don't know, but it makes the water just taste terrible. I'll get to free trade in a minute. I talked to the guy at the coin shop when I bought my silver yesterday. So what you should do is you should drive in, just put a bar in your pants and just go through customs and don't declare anything and just sit there comfortable. They're not interested in gold and silver. They're interested in firearms and drugs. And just act normal. And even if they search your car, he said they won't search you unless they find drugs, then they'll search you, but they're not going to search you. So he thinks that would be the best way. Then he will trade you the bar for 32 ounces of gold. He'd have to order some of it, but he could probably do that. You'd give him the bar, and he'd give you 32 ounces. And then he said, so I said, well, he wants to probably sell 2 or 3 ounces. He said he could wire it to your account in US dollars, your Canadian account, and you'd have it. And then what I was saying is then you put, like, you get 2 of these and you put about 16 ounces in each one. They'll hold, I think, 16 or 17 or maybe 20 ounces. I get 22. No, I get, what do I get? I get 20 of these in here. So you should be able to get 20 Maple Leafs or Eagles, whatever. You should be able to get 20 and then get another one and then just stick it in your pocket. When you go back into Canada, again, they shouldn't, most of the searches are random. So if you just, I don't know what you're talking about, and again, they're looking for firearms and drugs, you should be fine. And if they search your car, they're not going to search you. So it becomes, okay, yeah, nothing in the car, because why would they search you? You don't have firearms they could see and drugs. And so therefore, he said that would be, he says the problem with shipping is very questionable. The insurance is expensive, especially as the gold gets more, especially what you want is shipped. So he said, it's better to drive it in, and then he will trade you the bar for 32 ounces. And then you can sell him 2 or 3 ounces, and he will wire you the money in your account. So it'll take a little bit of a fee, not a lot. He's got to bring in the ounces and the bar. So there was a small fee. He said, whatever. When you're dealing with that kind of money, I don't know what kind of fee, but probably not bad. So that's what he said, Prophet. That's what you should do. And he will trade it. And I told him, and I said, we're waiting. It's a will. It's a marriage. It's this and that. And, but you don't want all bar. You do want some change. So you might even take 1 ounce and buy silver with it, and then get 2 or 3 ounces and get cash for it. And then you'll have 27 ounces and a bunch of silver, and then you get cash to go around with. So he said he's fine. He'll wire the money and everything else. So that was good. I'm sure he'll charge you a fee to wire it, but what else are you going to do? And that's fine. At that point, you don't care about the fees, and they won't be big. So I told him, and we talked, and he said that's fine. So he will do it. Okay, free trade. Why is free trade important? Because countries that are landlocked, or let's put it this way, you need a doctor. Your hand's hurting. You need a doctor. Well, if you're a country, you don't have that expertise. You're not a doctor. So you need the help of a doctor to help your hand or a headache or whatever. Think about it then. Countries like Hong Kong do not have natural resources. They need the oil and the electricity and a lot of food and stuff like that. They need to trade for. So they're trading for things that they don't have. Now, free trade is not about I trade you 100, you trade me 100. It's about I need apples and oranges. I need oil. Well, you're not going to trade me that back. I'm going to give you money for that. That's the trade. The money for the apples, the money for the oil. China needs oil. Well, it's not an even trade as far as China trading the same amount of whatever China has for the oil they get from Russia. They give them money for the oil. That's the trade, the oil for the money. But China needs the trade because they don't have the oil. Not all countries have all the natural resources and everything that they need. The U.S., we've priced ourselves out of the market. So China makes our computers and our phones and our tennis shoes and a lot of things they make cheaper. So therefore we buy them. Certainly we can't bitch at them for not buying Ford and GM cars. if their cars are cheaper, and it's up to the market to determine what they want to buy. So that's why free trade is important. And in Adam Smith, it says, well, before there was a lot of poverty in the world, and then free trade made the poverty line go way up, or, the people then went from poverty and now they're not in poverty because of free trade, because it allowed other goods and services to come in and they could buy them, and it just helped everybody. So everybody got help by free trade, by trading with China and Russia and Italy and France, getting champagne, getting stuff from Canada. It benefits everybody because you sell it cheaper than we have it, or you sell us stuff that we don't have, like all the lumber. We don't have, I assume we don't have a lot of lumber or things, so we buy it from Canada. The government stepping in to do these tariffs, again, goes against free trade and free markets, which is prosperity. The goal is prosperity. The poor get richer, the rich get richer, everybody gets richer and benefits from prosperity. That's the point of it, not anything else. So that's the point of free trade, and that's the problem with tariffs. Tariffs make the costs go up, which these companies either go out of business or raise prices if the market will allow them. And the worst part is then the goods don't come that we need. So if you tariff, if China tariffs oil, well, wait, they need oil. And that's where substitution comes in, where they go, well, we can buy it from Russia or Saudi Arabia or Iran or whatever. So you start buying oil from other countries. If you can't get from one country, you get from another. Germany wants to buy Russian oil. Oh, that's fine. If they don't, buy it from Saudi Arabia. Buy it from Iran. I mean, what's the difference? Just you need oil. You got to buy it from somewhere. So you have to trade for it. And you're going to trade money for the oil. This is what happens. But you don't want the government doing tariffs and raising costs, because then you either kick people out, but you need the good, or they have to raise the price so they can stay in business. In other words, so I'm selling it for 20 and I get 30, but now you tariff me and now my cost is 40. So I either sell it for 50 or I go out of business. So you don't want them to go out of business. You still need it. And therefore, but they can't necessarily raise the price. That's why everybody, well, the cost go up, they'll just offset it with higher prices. And I keep saying, no, they won't, because it's up to the market. The market will not pay $50 when they were paying 30. So you put them out of business. Nothing good happens from tariffs. Free trade, he makes it for what he can, and he can sell it cheaper because the costs are lower. And who benefits? The people buying it. So if something comes to the U.S., the benefit is the people in the U.S. because we can buy things cheaper because they make it cheaper in China because their labor is cheaper. So it's not that hard. Let's watch a little Adam Smith. It's such a good video.
The Maersk McKinney Moller is one of the largest ships in the world. It is also one of the most modern cargo carriers on the oceans today, carrying Adam Smith's ideas on world trade to a level imagined by only one man. By opening a more extensive market for the produce of their labor, it encourages them to improve productive powers, and thereby to increase the real revenue and wealth of the society. In command of the huge ship is Captain Jess Meinitz, a 25-year veteran of the sea lanes.
You see, the vessel's getting bigger and bigger. You have seen an increasing volume of cargo going from one part to another part. And I think that trend will continue.
The massive scope of international trade today would have been unimaginable even a few decades ago. But Adam Smith foresaw the workings of such a world more than 200 years ago. He wrote that free markets and free trade would connect the continents and result in global prosperity. Today's markets have grown to global proportions, and revenue and wealth have soared. Just one way that Adam Smith's ideas continue to change the world.
See, you don't need the central bank printing money to do this. You have gold backed currency. It's just you need to do the trade. Free markets, free trade will grow and get everybody out of it, not money printing, not the Federal Reserve, not FDR, not all this bullshit handouts. Oh, you're not working, we'll give you money. What the fuck is that? No, go to work, you make money, then you can buy things. That's the whole point. You get better division of labor. You become a higher. Now I'm working on computers instead of screwing in light bulbs. You make more money. You got a better skill set, and then you get paid for it. That's the whole idea of Adam Smith: is the division of labor. Grow, get your skill set to what's needed and demanded. That's the point of it. These government handouts, what do? They interfere with your division of labor. Oh, well, if I'm going to get money for doing nothing, why should I get my why should I get my skill set up? I can sit home and watch TV and get money, get my welfare check, and I can eat. It's insanity. You go get your skill set up, go get a job. You'll make a lot more money and you'll have freedom. You'll be free to do what you want. But on welfare, you only get so much money. You got to eat. And as Trump raises tariffs, he's screwing everybody. So Trump's the problem because you want free trade. It's the critical thing.
Captain Meinert and his crew are on a journey that will take them over 12,000 nautical miles from Shanghai to 3 more stops in mainland China, Hong Kong, and then through the Suez Canal. Now, after 20 days at sea, they are nearing Algeciras, Spain. Then it will be on to Rotterdam and other European ports. The economic facts of life in the cargo business mean that bigger is better. Size is everything. The Maersk McKinney-Moller is over 20 stories high and 1,300 feet long. This ocean-going behemoth carries 18,000 containers. If they were loaded aboard a train, the train would be 68 miles long. The containers hold everything from fruits and vegetables to furniture and electronics, from appliances and kitchenware to vehicles and auto parts. A vast variety of consumer and industrial goods to feed the growing demand of a globalized world.
In China, for example, you have 1.2, 1.3 billion people, and the middle class is growing. And of course, there will be consumers like in the US and like in Europe. And of course, that will create even more a demand for goods to be transported around the world.
It's early evening when the ship arrives in Algeciras, Spain. Now, working through the night, over 2,500 containers will be offloaded within 10 hours. Then, once again, the ship will be on its way. Every day of the year, thousands of container ships enter hundreds of ports around the world. Adam Smith would be amazed. Every corner of the earth is now linked to every other. Each day, more people become connected by global trade. Each day, because of it, life gets better for millions of people.
See, because we need different things, but we don't have everything. Germany didn't have oil. Russia doesn't have a lot of stuff. You go through the countries. China doesn't have oil and stuff. Japan, that was the whole oil embargo caused World War II. That's how Japan got in. They had the oil embargo. So not every country has everything, but by the free trade, you can sell it. So think about selling Teaserking, right? I can sell it to people in China and Japan because of the internet, which means I can increase my sales by selling it to other people who don't have a handicap or not that they're betting football in China, but that's maybe a bad example. Let's say I'm selling Canadian Club. Well, then everybody can buy it. Or we buy Dewar's here. It's Scottish. It's Scotland. Or Champagne from France. We don't have it here, but we can buy it. So it gives you opportunities to buy it, which also gives the seller opportunities to sell to more people. That's what eBay is. So you can sell on eBay. I can sell this 1 ounce of silver to somebody in China or Russia or Pakistan or India or whatever. I can sell this to them. It increases my viewing audience, my customer base, and I can make a lot more money because they don't have it there. And that's the idea of free trade. It opens up. It's better for the buyer. It's better for the seller. The buyer then gets a bigger choice of what he can buy, and the seller has more customers he can hit. That's good. People don't need jobs, then they can just find stuff to sell on eBay and ship it and sell it. Or in my case, I don't ship anything. I just give football picks out. And that's the key to it, right? So you hit a larger audience and the buyer has more options. I mean, some of these Africans, little villages, now they can sell some stuff they have, and then they can buy. Oh, I can buy silver, and you probably sell out of silver in Africa, but it gives the world a better source. So instead of being limited where you can sell or what you can buy, it now is expansionally bigger, and everybody benefits. Now people who couldn't have a job before can sell on eBay or whatever they're doing on TikTok. They can now make money by doing that. That's the point of free trade, getting a bigger customer base, more customers, and then the customer has more options of what he wants to buy. It's win-win, and it makes everybody's life better because they get more money in it. People with money can buy things cheaper from these other cities. However, watch $20 silver from China. Just be careful of that. All right, so that's the whole premise of free trade. You start tariffing it, now my costs go up. I got to raise prices. People can't afford it. My sales drop. I don't know if I can make it because my costs have gone up. And you can't just raise costs and then raise prices. As we talk about it, I can't just, if this goes from, and I sell it for 25, if this goes to 40 now, I can't sell it for 50. You can't just assume, well, I'll just raise my price. Good, but nobody will buy it. And that's the problem with it. So that's the fundamental thing of Adam Smith is free trade. It's keep the government out of the marketplace, keep the marketplace free, and keep the dollars strong, and then you have more customers and they have more options. That's his whole goal is people. You can't predict people, but let them handle it. We don't need the government, communism, socialism, telling people what to buy or what to make, or, oh, you got to make electric cars. And that's where you get into malinvestments. Well, nobody wants an electric car. Why are you selling it? And we don't have enough energy for it. And then, well, you don't need oil. Well, yeah, but I don't have the electricity. I'm in Africa. I don't have gas stations. How am I supposed to plug in my electric car in Africa? I mean, it's ridiculous. So those are the problems when government interferes. Just let it to, what do you want? I'll give it to you. Fine. Oh, you want silver? I got an ounce of silver here. Okay. I'm giving you what you want. That's the whole point of free markets. All right.
So who was this man who predicted that trade would lead to prosperity? Who foresaw this global progression out of poverty?
Smith took ideas of economics that were really in the bow and arrow stage and made them into a modern theory, which actually still drives our economic thinking today. People call him an economist. He was really a social psychologist. He wrote about ethics, he wrote about law, he wrote about politics, and obviously wrote about economics.
The man many consider most responsible for today's prosperity. Indeed, the father of modern economics. First made a name for himself as a young man here in Edinburgh, Scotland. This historic city was then center of the Scottish Enlightenment, and Adam Smith was one of its brightest lights. He had written an amazing book, The Theory of Moral Sentiments, and that had propelled him into popularity. He would go on to write another, which was equally popular and eventually better known, The Wealth of Nations. Together, these two books described a powerful system of guidelines linking morality and economics.
Adam Smith was one of the greatest minds of all time.
His great gift was observation, and his study of human nature as it appeared in different types of society at different periods of history is absolutely awesome.
Adam Smith was born in 1723 in the small seaside town of Kirkcaldy, Scotland, where he learned about morality and economics at the local merchants' market. He studied at Glasgow University, became its top administrator, and then a pillar of the unlikely intellectual revolution called the Scottish Enlightenment. He lived, lectured, and socialized in Scotland's capital city of Edinburgh. He had eloquently argued the power of free markets and the division of labor to enable people of all strata of society to become more prosperous. The institutions that Adam Smith recommended have proved empirically and historically now to correlate positively with all of these metrics of human well-being.
Smith was particularly concerned about the well-being of the least well-off and thought that markets, especially the type of commercial society he wished to defend, would be of immense benefit to precisely those people.
He was the man that gave us modern economics with concepts like gross national product and productivity and supply and demand and labor and capital and all of these things we just take for granted today.
Smith matters because he posed a question that every single government since has had to address. Should governments intervene in the management of economies? Should they leave it to market forces?
Could market forces, on their own, alleviate?
And it's always market forces because we don't know what we want, but we have to be the ones to determine what we want. The government cannot possibly know what we want and therefore sell what we want. That's what communism and socialism are. That's why they never work, because once you take the buyer out and tell them what to buy and set the prices, it's over. That's why it fails every time. We have to be, the market has to be the one making the decision. Otherwise, it'll never work. That's why capitalism works, and communism and socialism can never work. You can call it whatever you want to call it. And Bernie Sanders and all these idiots, they just don't get it. It is not a rich, poor thing. Everybody gets better off from it. It depends on your division of labor. And if you take the risk and you open a store and make a lot of money, you're helping everybody. How are you hurting anybody? Oh, you can't make $1 billion. Well, if I come up with a new product, new glasses, and I get $1 billion in sales, who did I hurt? I helped everybody who got glasses. So the whole argument is crazy, but they never back it up with facts. Bernie Sanders will just yell at you and say, it doesn't work, and we need socialism. That'll work. Where? Well, I can't tell you where because I have no idea, because it's never worked. But I'm going to tell it to you. And if I bang my head and bang my hand on the thing, you'll believe it. And you're like, the hell are you talking about? So again, you got to be careful with listening to idiots, but you got to know the fundamentals. Free trade and free markets and letting us be the market is the key. No government intervention, and keep the hell out of my dollars that you fucking ruined. This is the biggest thing the government does. They've ruined this, and they've ruined that. If you're a euro, they've ruined it. This is no value. Government did that. Why do you guys listen to the government? Or if I say anything where it's the truth, people will say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Why? Because I disagree with the government who kills everything in every country they've ever led, because eventually they become socialists and again, they ruin the money. Yeah, well, you just keep thinking that. I'll think in reality. All right.
In poverty. Smith actually believed that they could. He had lived to see that his revolutionary ideas worked, to see life for the average Scotsman actually improve, and most important for Smith, that the poor were beginning to do better. So, do Adam Smith's revolutionary ideas, now over 2 centuries old, apply to the poor in today's developing world, as they did in Europe and America in Smith's day? Do they still have the power to transform the world? One success story with a surprising Scottish connection is Hong Kong. For much of its past, Hong Kong had been one of the great trading cities on Earth. Packed with thriving businesses large and small, Hong Kong had no natural resources and little agricultural land, only a beautiful harbor and a population of remarkably industrious people. By the 1960s, The colony was crammed with millions of refugees fleeing the civil war in mainland China. Hong Kong was a city hobbled by poverty. There were water shortages and thousands of refugee families called the harbor home. But everything would change because of the vision of one determined man, Sir John James Cowperthwaite, Hong Kong's financial secretary from 1961 to 1971. He was also a Scotsman and very much a disciple of Adam Smith.
Sir John Cowperthwaite is one of the great unappreciated heroes of political economy. He implemented in Hong Kong an experiment. He applied his theory of what he called benign neglect. So he instituted in Hong Kong the system of Smithian political.
I've been alone this whole time.
Called benign neglect. So he instituted in Hong Kong the system of Smithian political economy to see what would happen.
Cowperthwaite built a Hong Kong that had relatively little corruption, an efficient and independent judiciary, individual property rights, and respect for the rule of law. He instituted an uncomplicated tax system with low rates on both individuals and business. The overall tax burden was half that of the United States at the time.
And he implemented the Smithian system of peace, easy taxes, and a tolerable administration of justice. And look what happened.
Little else is requisite to carry a state to the highest degree of opulence, but peace, easy taxes, and a tolerable administration of justice, all the rest being brought about by the natural course of things. In Cowperthwaite's decade as financial secretary, real wages rose by 50%. Between 1960 and 2014, Hong Kong's GDP per capita adjusted for inflation increased more than 10 times.
And they turned what was effectively a rock in the 1950s to one of the most prosperous places on earth today.
Even now, under Chinese rule, Hong Kong remains one of the world's most important financial centers. It's proof that with the right policies in place, change can come quickly. And today, the people of Hong Kong, despite continued unrest and demands for a greater say in their future, have a higher income per capita than their old colonial masters in Britain. While Hong Kong, along with Japan and the other Asian tigers, was prospering, China was stagnating. 20 years of Soviet-style centralized planning and control had crippled the country.
After Mao died, both the Chinese leaders and the Chinese people recognized that socialism didn't work.
Ning Wang is professor of economics at the Ronald Coase Institute, an author with Ronald Coase of the book How China Became Capitalist.
They tried new ways to organize the economy, and what emerged spontaneous was something we here recognized as the market economy. And in China, it's called socialism with Chinese characteristics.
Socialism with Chinese characteristics translates to change from the ground up or spontaneous development. Add to this the power of a market economy, and you have two of Adam Smith's most essential concepts.
They gradually opened up the economy, allowed private sector to enter in one industry after another. And of course, once the private enterprises entered any sector, they quickly outperformed state enterprises.
The small market economy would...
Well, and in a market economy, what happens is there's competition. So in a state run, there's no competition. The state sets everything, and all I'm selling you is green shirts at $50. You take them or leave them. Once you enter competition, then here comes blue, red, yellow shirts, and they compete. So the price drops and everybody benefits. That's why communism doesn't work, or socialism here. You can't have the government involved. You got to get them out, and you got to have competition. That's the key to everything. Free trade, free markets, competition. That's it. That's what we were striving for. So when an idiot like Trump comes in and he starts doing socialist things and raising tariffs, he's killing competition because people can't afford the higher rates. What is he doing? Well, we'll get more tax revenue. You're not going to get any tax revenue. Nobody's going to buy this shit because it's too expensive. Well, we want everything made in America. Why? This is the whole point. Free trade. We'll buy it from China or Japan or whatever country has what we need, we'll buy it from them and they'll compete. And it's fine. We don't need everything made in America. Where's he getting that from? That's this whole thing of the boat, right? It's free trade. They go around the world and you take your champagne from France. You can't make it in America. So people who want it, there's a market for it, and then that's it. So I don't know what Trump's doing, but this is the key. And this is why China's so big right now, until they got back to government controlling. And that's why you see Evergrande and the housing market collapse. And you see the high inflation because now government got involved and they fucked it all up again.
Leaders had allowed to even out the rough spots in centralized planning mushroomed. Today, China's private sector contributes 60 to 80% to the country's job growth and 60 to 70% of its GDP.
So that forced them to resort to their own tradition, seeking truth from facts. Be practical, be open-minded, not trapped by any pre-existing ideology.
It's estimated that in the last 3 decades, over 600 million people have risen out of poverty in China. That's an accomplishment unmatched anywhere at any time on Earth. And today, thousands of young Chinese are joining a global movement to discover how to maximize their nation's potential. Tens of thousands of students from all over the world have come to America to study. Many of them are here at the University of Chicago, one of the world's foremost academic institutions. Xingxing Li is a PhD student at the University of Chicago Law School, and she's studying the effects of government regulation on the economy.
And I just wanted to come here and learn from the best of the best, and then return to China and help to spread the knowledge to Chinese students.
This may be the best place on earth to study the causes of wealth and poverty. Almost 30 professors, students, and alumni have won Nobel Prizes in economics. Today, Professor Ning Wang is at the University of Chicago to preside over a unique seminar. These University of Chicago scholars and students are from China, and they've all come together for luncheon and a seminar to explore an interesting and surprising mix: Adam Smith, capitalism, and communist China. Such a conversation, even their presence here in the West, would have been unthinkable just a few years ago.
Good afternoon, welcome everyone. And we're going to have this seminar, Adam Smith in China. And we have a group of scholars, students, who have expertise on Adam Smith.
Adam Smith is the first generation of economic theorists.
I think classical economics would believe that until market fails, there's no need for governmental intervention.
It is the highest impertinence and presumption in kings and ministers to pretend to watch over the economy of private people.
Yes, market works, but market needs something like morality. And people will trust each other, or at least they want to try to trust each other.
Adam Smith not only have one book called Wealth of Nations, he also have another great book called The Theory of Moral Sentiments. And in that book, he really lays out what kind of morality standards should the people have when they have the market kind of exchange.
I think they were surprised, happily surprised, that actually what they got from Adam Smith actually consistent with their own traditions from Confucianism and the traditions from Taoism.
Chinese students are not just studying Adam Smith in the West, they're studying him in China. All of the major Chinese universities teach the ideas of Adam Smith, and they are learning how their own traditions are similar to those of the West.
It doesn't surprise me at all that more people in China read Adam Smith than the people here in the States. The previous Chinese premier, Wen Jiabao, in many occasions praised the theory of moral sentiments. And I remember once he visiting a Chinese campus, and in front of students, he raised that book. Hey guys, you have to read this book, The Theory of Moral Sentiments.
Is China coming full circle? Will it once again embrace its cultural roots with a deeper understanding of how its history and commercial traditions merge naturally with the ideas of Adam Smith and contemporary market economics? Is communism the future of China, Or will it be seen as just an aberration, a blip in China's long history?
But for China to move forward, it has to strengthen its own innovative capacity. The most severe defect of the Chinese system is that China now has an open market for goods, but doesn't have a free market for ideas.
A free market not only opens our minds to new ideas, it helps us to be far more productive. From thousands of independent suppliers around the world, millions of parts have been shipped to Airbus in Toulouse, France. Here, they will be assembled into the largest and most modern airliner on Earth, a product of the vast benefits of a global division of labor, a concept popularized by Adam Smith.
The division of labor, so far as it can be introduced, occasions in every art a proportional increase of the productive powers of labor.
Few things better illustrate the benefits of the division of labor than factories like this. Smith would have been amazed. What was an extraordinary insight in Smith's day, the productive potential of the division of labor, is now a commonplace, common-sense global phenomenon.
Here we are in our mock-up hall here in Toulouse. We have full-size models of the major models that we produce for Airbus.
Alain Pardo is the head of marketing communications at Airbus in Toulouse, France.
They're fully furnished, so they have seats and galleys and furnishings, just like a real airplane. If you like, sort of a showroom. We are many thousand people in Toulouse, but we're of course a global company. We're not just French. So an A380 is a very big airplane. In fact, it's the world's largest commercial airplane. And what really distinguishes it is the fact that it's got 2 decks, 2 levels, 2 cabins. And it's an airplane that probably has something in the order of 4 million individual parts. 2.5 million of those are unique part numbers. We must have something in the order of 1,500 suppliers in probably about 30 countries.
And each of those suppliers does what they do best. They specialize in their own area of expertise. The wings are constructed in England, and each contains 32,000 individual parts.
The wing is enormous. It's huge. The wingspan of this airplane is about 80 meters. That's something in the order of 250 feet. So it's bigger than almost every other airplane ever flown. It's certainly the largest commercial airplane flown.
Smith first described the division of labor by looking at the manufacture of simple pins. We've come a long way since, but the principle is still the same. The larger the scale of the cooperation, the greater the chance of specializing.
I think for one company to try to do everything on its own would be prohibitively expensive in terms of...
Oh, I work at FinTech. It's in FinTech. In FinTech. Interesting. So then we just got to look up what...
In terms of just not money, but resource, people, know-how. It's a global business. People fly around the world day in, day out. It's a global supply business. It's a global manufacturing business.
You concentrate on doing the things that you're good at. I concentrate on doing the things that I'm good at. And then we exchange. And then we're both really much, much better off because we're very much more efficient.
What we see in the world today in a globalized economy is millions, indeed billions of people who are cooperating with one another in innovative new ways around the world. In some sense, that really is the Adam Smithian world.
With incredible machines like these, we can travel from one continent to the other, supported by a vast network of millions of people and thousands of systems that keep everything up in the air. And while we're flying, tons of freight is traveling with us in the cargo holds. But by far, most products traded between nations still travel as they did in Smith's day, on the seas. With every one of the allotted containers unloaded in Algeciras, the Maersk McKinney-Muller is ready to depart. A cargo ship rests at its dock only long enough to unload and load. At most ports, the crew never leaves the ship. Before dawn, with the moon setting behind the mountains, she heads into the crowded Strait of Gibraltar.
I would say that's a favorite place to be on the bridge once the sun rises. And you have this deep orange sun coming up, and you see the light changing in the horizon just before it breaks.
Aboard the Maersk McKinney-Muller, the crew on the giant ship settles into their daily rhythm. checking the bracing on the containers, keeping the ship clean, and performing routine maintenance. Maersk is a Danish company. The captain and his senior officers are from Denmark. The rest of the crew is international.
That is correct, leaving the Algeciras bound for Rotterdam. In the past, everything had to be done manually. Nowadays, a lot of the functions that we control are done automatically via computers and monitors. And that, of course, requires less manpower. A officer or navigator nowadays is actually, he's not steering the big wheel anymore. He's basically monitoring all the automated systems on board.
The 24 crew who run the ship are spread over its quarter-mile length. They seldom see one another. They come together at mealtime, 3 times a day. Romy, the Filipino cook and oldest member of the crew, prepares a diverse menu with dishes that make the men feel at home. It's a time to relax, share information, and plan for the work ahead. This huge ship demonstrates the impact Adam Smith envisioned international trade would have on prosperity. It's not what's in the containers, but what they represent that's important. Smith believed that wealth is not just the things you own, like gold in the bank, but also your labor and the things you can get in exchange.
All right, we'll pick this up tomorrow. But the point is that through division of labor, somebody can do the engine, somebody can do other engineering parts, finance, IT, the boat. You've made it better where now you can, you don't even need to steer it. It does it automatically. The airplane flies around, gets you to different places. It employs thousands and thousands of vendors, and then their people build specific parts for the plane. That's what he's trying to say, is because of division of labor. Now you have a guy who can do a jet engine, and you can have a guy put in the propeller, and a guy do the seats, and a guy steer the ship by just pushing buttons and everything else. So you have all this division that you have, and that's what his point is. And that's what I keep saying. So you're more productive because you can do it. And then you can have 1,000 people build this boat and then transport everything all around. Well, everybody prospers. The people who get the goods then enjoy them, and the people who sell the goods can sell them easier to other places. So everybody wins. That's what socialism can't do. It won't allow the division of labor and the production, and you're much more productive by doing it this way. So we'll finish this up tomorrow. But if you want to watch it, I mean, I already watched it, but I want to watch it again. He's got another one out there too. So they're Adam Smith. I don't know about YouTube movies and TV, why I'm picking it up there, but there's a couple of Adam Smiths with this. I like this Norbert guy. And he does counter the idea that Sweden is socialist. Says it's not. It's a free market, but they do have health insurance, or they give out health insurance, but that was getting too costly. So it's mostly capitalism, free markets, free trade is Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. It's not socialist. Socialist in the medicine where they take care of their people, but the markets themselves are all socialist, or are all capitalist. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. Again, anytime the government gets involved, it's bad. That's why you don't want socialism and capitalism. I don't know why students now are being taught to be socialists, to let the government take care of them, and then they don't improve their division of labor. They don't improve their skill set, and then everybody loses when they do that. No, let's just let the government take care of us. What is that? That's so the government, has to have a need, but that's terrible. You don't want the government to take care of you. You want to take care of yourself. That's why you can make a lot of money. That's good, as long as it's not illegal things, not drug dealers, not the government kickbacks that we have, but actually genuinely create a business and go for it. I create, baseball cards and you make a lot of money with them, or I grade the cards. I also talked to the owner of the coin shop about getting the cards graded. And I says, well, I'm worried that they're going to switch it. I says, if you're the grader and I give you a Mickey Mantle and it's a PSA 10, am I going to get that card back? And he says, no, they should be pretty honest with you, because if it gets out that they didn't, then they're ruined. Nobody will send it. So I don't think they want to screw you over. I think if you give them a good card, they'll give you the grade and off you go. I think he says, I give them coins all the time and I get good grades on them. So I don't think they're switching the coins. Now, I don't know if coins and the cards are the same, but this card I could give them because it's numbered 399, 22 out of 399. So I know that I better get 22 out of 399 back. This card, however, I don't know. I can take a picture of it, but I don't know if I'm going to get this card back. If this is a 10, if I'm going to get a 10 for it. I hope so, but I'm not sure if I will. Or the Bobby Orr. If I give them, this is a very strong card, at least a 9, and then I get an 8 back, did they switch cards on me? And this is the card I'm worried about, because I can't really identify it other than this. Now I can maybe take a picture of the back and we can see how it's a little off centered. And if the card I get back is not as centered as these, then I could say, hey, I didn't get the card back. But he thought, no, you should get your, if it's a 10, they'll give you a 10 and you'll get your card back. So I did talk about that. So we did talk about profit and shipping the gold and everything. So again, the keys we take out of today is you must have free trade, not tariffs. You must have free markets. You must keep the government out of interfering. It should just be business. And, you should be honest with the people. Like on eBay, I'm selling this card and then I send it to you and I get the money. That's why you get the cards graded. So, well, especially this one, it's numbered. So you got the numbered card. In this case, I would have to have it graded first and then sell it. And then you would know you got that card, because all you care about is the grade. If it's a PSA 9 or PSA 10, and that's what you got, then that's the free trade. And that's what we want. And then it becomes a trust issue. Like I say with Teaser King, I don't care who comes to buy, as long as they pay me right. I don't care what country they are, what color they are, anything. You bought from me, here's the service. I'm going to give you the games. Some people yell at me, they buy it and they're expecting the games to be up. I says, well, I don't work like that. I might post them Friday night. And they're all nervous. Oh yeah, you got my money, you're not going to give me games. And then I said, don't worry, the games are, Friday night, there's the games. But that's how I work. I don't listen to rules, how other people do it, because I'm not at all close to other handicappers. I'm much better. So again, I don't care what country you are, what race, religion, anything. You're a customer and I'm selling you, and you'll get the password and the picks. And that's how it should be. And you get rid of racism that way, because now it's, what, am I not going to take your money? That's ridiculous. You're a customer. So if everybody is a customer, there's, what kind of racism can there be? So anyway, keep that in mind. So hope you had a good day. Again, baseball, we'll give you the picks. Philadelphia, Texas under 7.5, Houston under 7, Atlanta over 8, Oakland over 9.5, and the New York Yankees. Those are the bets. There's no basketball day. Basketball tomorrow. We will take OKC in a must win. I think it's Monday. We will take that. Let's watch some U.S. Open. I do not bet golf. If I did, I'd bet Jack Nicklaus. And that's it. So Adam Smith. So this, I highly recommend this book. I got this at Borders, The Wealth of Nations. He also has that other one. This book cost me $16. And what year is it? 2023. So he's got the other one I want to go buy. And I got it when I got my college football. That was $13. That's really getting expensive, my magazines for college football. But it's about time to get that. So I will go and look for that maybe today. And that's about it. So we will go. We're waiting to hear from Daria about meeting. She keeps kind of, I don't know what she's thinking about or what her delay is. But I'm just, if you don't meet this time, then it's clear you don't want to meet, and I'll say that, and then she can go from what she wants. Again, I don't want to, I want to be with her. So that's not, I don't know what her deal is, but we'll just go from there. Otherwise, I might go up to Lake Michigan. It's a few hour drive, like 3 hours, and spend a few days up there. The one place I go to has a nice pool, a nice beach, and a nice, good weather. You're on the lake and stuff like that. But it's a little expensive. July 4th, it's the Cherry Festival. So I'll probably go the week before, the week after. I don't need to be there for the Cherry Festival. I don't need to pay more for it for the Cherry Festival. Anyway, outside of that, nothing new with jobs. And that's it. So I'm always trying to be more productive. I'm trying to get my division of labor, my skill set higher in both economics and the gambling and the card collecting and everything else. So I always like finding the new things in football betting where I've went from a trend analysis clever enough to realize I can't use it anymore because of all the new coaches and quarterbacks. I can't look at the old history. I can use it after 2 or 3 years of, like, this year. I still can't use the Bears because now they got a new coach. So maybe I can use it next year. But then, so Kansas City, I can, and Cincinnati, if they have the coach and the quarterback together. I'm really fucked in college. I can't use it because of NIL. They get new quarterbacks all the time. So I really don't use it in college. I've never really used it in college too often. Now they've changed conferences. And they've, with the coaching changes and the quarterbacks, the quarterbacks always only played 2 or 3 years and they'd graduate. They wouldn't play as freshmen. So a little different. So that's why I look more at the teams, the defense and the offense. But that's just me being more productive, figuring out ways to bet on it and win. So I'm very clever there. I know enough about it to figure that out. Pros are a little easier because you got Mahomes every year and you got Burrow every year and Jefferson and those guys. Anyway, baseball, I'm really trying to figure out how I can figure it out, if it can be figured out. The managers are so bad. The pitcher goes 5-6 innings. So, what are you going to use? You use the pitcher as the measuring stick, but you can't use him because you don't know how long he's going to pitch for. He should pitch. Max Fried should go 8 innings. Skubal should go 8. My friend asked about Skubal, and I said I thought he pitched 8. He only pitched 7 innings. He had 90 some pitches, and he only pitched 7 innings. And then they go to the bullpen. I mean, why is he not going 9 innings? Why would you take him out? You clearly have nobody better than him. Are you telling me his arm was he going to get tired? I mean, it's a professional athlete, so it's so stupid. Every starter should go 8 innings, and then you bring in, like, the Cubs have this really good closer, and he comes in and just shuts the door. Okay, if you got somebody like that, I get it, but most teams don't have that. Anyway, that's what I do. So I look at that. Football, we're kind of going through college now and updating last year's stats as a basis for week 1 this year. And then it'll slowly change as we get to week 2 and week 3. We'll have a more fundamental basis. I mean, we know what Georgia will be and USC and Ohio State. Those teams, they're pretty much the same. It's the Purdue's, it's the Minnesotas, Colorado. I mean, what do they got? What's Colorado going to be without Prime Junior? Who's their quarterback going to be? Probably be pretty good, but we'll see. That's what you got to see, is you got to get the data. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed Adam Smith. I certainly did. And again, government should not interfere in the market. Leave it to the market. And that's why I bet. And that's Austrian or classical economics. Free trade is a critical part of that because you've got to be able to sell and buy from other areas. We, even in America, we don't have everything here. We need to trade for it. So why would you make tariffs and make it more expensive? It has to be higher cost because that's what the tariff is. So, you get Mercedes, right? And they're made in Germany. And now the cost went from 20 grand to 30 grand, So now if they're going to sell it, they got to sell it for 40 grand if they can. We want to buy it. Well, I can, can you afford the extra cost? Now, if they can't, you can't raise prices. You have to then go out of business or find a way to make it up by cutting people. Either way, it's devastating because you want more people buying goods. You want the productivity level to go up all over the world and the prosperity. You want free markets. You don't want the government involved. So the government gets involved. Anything they get involved with kills it. That's why you had the Depression from 1929 to 1945 in America was caused by FDR, which is why I don't know why anybody thinks FDR is a good president. All right. So I think that's it. Watch some U.S. Open, go swimming a little bit, maybe go to the lake. Chinese food, I think, sounds good tonight. Anyway, have a good day. www.teaserking.com. Enjoy. Please feel free to email me. If you go to Teaser King, you'll get my email. Pat, it was good to see you. Prophet. So I talked to you about it, but if you want to email me about the gold bars when you're getting them, I would say just drive it in and we'll go to the store and he will switch it for you, wire the money into your account if you want to sell some. Otherwise, you'll walk away with 28, 29 ounces and sell 3 of them or whatever, and then just go back to Canada. That would be your best bet, not to ship them. It's a little more. If you can drive it, you're better. Now, to go to LA or California, you'll probably have to ship it, but you'll try to look for that. Anyway, have a good day, everybody. www.teaserking.com. Enjoy your Saturday.